I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, April the 8th, brought to you in part by Noromycin by Norbrook. Noromycin 300 LA is a proven go-to, effective and economical antibiotic for seasonal diseases in your cattle. Still readily available without a script until next summer. Not this summer, but they're changing the rules on that next summer. But for more information on Noromycin 300 LA, go to norbrook.com. Admissions, and I'm not talking about admissions into a college or into a ball game or a show or something like that. I'm talking about admissions by the White House administration. They're finally admitting that this economy is going down the tubes and everything's kind of wrecking, and we're getting close to recession fears here because, basically it's because of all the free money that they threw out. You can only print so much money until the value of that money starts getting so much that inflation just takes off and everything costs more. It's basically a 7 or 8% cut in pay for everybody because of what everything's costing, and it's our inputs, especially for cattle producers with fuel. And it's a whole lot more when you talk about trying to fertilize your pastures or fertilize crops or buy feed for your cattle and things like that. But they're going to have to raise interest rates. We know that. They've already tipped their hand on that. The Fed's already said how many times they're planning on doing it this year. And the latest I saw was a 30-year fixed mortgage is now 5%. Where it was below 3 just the other day. And that it's not going to stop there. It's going to keep getting higher, guys. That's going to change everything when you're talking about feeding cattle and things like that, because money has been so cheap for so long. People haven't even worried about what cattle cost, because the interest rate on it has been so cheap. You don't even really worry about the value of money. But it's getting to the point where you're going to have to start thinking about that and figuring that in. Who else has got admissions? Well, big media is admitting that, maybe they haven't been covering things completely on the up and up. For one is Hunter Biden's laptop. Wow. I guess they're kind of admitting maybe he is a crackhead, it gets free money from foreign countries that are not always our friends, and his dad, who is now the president, sells his influence all over the world, and gives Hunter this lavish lifestyle, and it's all on our backs for the most part. But we're finally starting to see this come around a little bit, and as bad as it is, it all looks bad, but it's just kind of nice to see him coming back and making some admissions there. What else is going on? It seems like everything is against the cattle. Our fuel going up's against the cattle because people can't afford the steaks they want to put on their grill. We've got the fertilizer being high. That's causing our grains to be high. It's causing feed to be high, causing pasture hard to come by. Everything is just against the cattle. There's one thing that's happening right now that's not great, but it could be a chance for the cattle to maybe gain a little bit, but it's likely just going to be the beef and not the cattle. And remember, you guys are not in the beef business. You're in the cattle business. If you guys were in the beef business, you would have made all-time record profits the last couple of years too, but most of you did not, and I understand that. But avian flu, it is running rampant now, guys. It's ran across 24 states. It's infected 23 million, as the last count, probably 30 by now, but 23 million birds, and it's most of your domesticated turkeys and chickens. So that's going to cause your poultry and your fowl market to go up, and so that could cause people to eat more beef. It's running so far behind it might not, but as this avian flu gets more media coverage, it's just, and not that it's harmful to people or anything like that, and we don't want to say that it is, But it's going to cause people to think twice. That's just what it does. Whenever we have a recall on a bunch of beef, people think twice about it before they buy it. When they see this avian flu, it makes them think twice about it. But like I said, if we do see a boost in that, it's likely just to be on your beef market. Your packers will keep all that. I wouldn't expect any kind of a boost there in your cattle market. But other things we see out there is fires. I tell you what, we have seen more wind this week, and everybody I talk to, no matter where they live. Now I know I live in West Texas and have traveled down here to North Texas and across Central Texas to get here. Wind has been blowing like crazy everywhere I've been and everybody I talk to. Down here in the Southern Plains, it's still so dry. You'll go to Oklahoma City and east, you go up into the Flint Hills, places like that, they've seen some moisture, they've had some snowpack. You go further up north and places like that. But I tell you what, the fires in the Oklahoma Panhandle have been horrible this week. I talked to my friend Jeff Slatton there with Beaver County Stockyards, and he says, it's just like solid fog all the time. You can't see anything. I seen one of his buyers show up at the sale barn and take a video there. He put it on Facebook, and I mean, it looked like the pens were on fire at Beaver County Stockyards, but it was back in the pastures in the distance, and it's burned over 30,000 acres. And the locals there say it's more like 40 or 50,000 acres, but burned a ton of grass there, and there wasn't really any grass to burn. We just hope and pray they can get some kind of moisture here before all that topsoil blows away and all the seed left behind. If they could get a little bit of moisture here before it all blows away, in a few weeks, it'll look better than it has there in a long, long time. But if we don't get any moisture and those winds continue to blow, it's going to be terrible. But Jeff Slatton told me he had a couple of good friends of his that were out fighting the fire. They ended up, I don't know how it happened, but they turned over a fire truck, and two of his buddies were at Lubbock in the burn unit there. So we got to pray for those people. And gosh, those people that fight those fires out there, and for the most part, they're all volunteer. I tell you what, they are heroes, guys. But it's burned up a lot of fence in that country. But gosh, it's just terrible. I think they've gotten most of the cattle out of the way from what I've heard. Of course, there wasn't a lot of cattle turned out there because there wasn't anything for them to eat. And now there is literally nothing out there. Let's talk about your board on Thursday. Your April live cattle futures were up 30 cents, which is big because we gained nearly $1 on Wednesday. So we were able to keep that and put a little bit with it. It still kind of pales in comparison to how much we lost early in the week, but it stopped the bleeding a little bit. But 138 even, they can make it whatever they want it to be, and it's 138 even. Well, that's your market and has been for the last 4 weeks, going on 5 in the Southern Plains. June live cattle down 12 cents at 134.10, and then after that we see a bright side on both live cattle and feeder cattle. You get the first 2 traded months out of the way, and then everything's gangbusters. But you go on your back months of live cattle, they were up 30 to up 95 cents. And your August is higher than June. Now August is always sucking hind tit whenever you talk about your futures, your traded futures months. But everything is just flip-flopped this year because we put the cattle on at lighter weights and where they've normally been out on winter forage, and they gained really good because of the open winter. So those cattle are going to be hitting the market sooner. Everybody's fearful about how many cattle are going to show up. But like I said on our last visit, it is going to coincide with the time that your packers are pushing to get the most product processed in May and June, because they've got all that demand from your summer grilling. So, maybe the two could kind of cancel each other out. We're just going to have to see. But after that, we got smooth sailing, guys. April feeder cattle down 70 cents at 156.40. Took back most of whatever it gained on Wednesday. May was down 47, and then at 159.47, and then just like on your live cattle, All of your back months were up, and up big on feeder cattle, up $1.40 to $1.80 after your first two traded months. You look at your grains, corn was up $1.25 at 7.57 3/4. Beans up 26 cents at 16.45 1/2. But beans don't affect your feeder cattle like corn does naturally. Kansas City hard red winter wheat down 14 1/4 at 10.70 3/4. Fat cattle market just kind of trickle trading on Thursday. We've traded most everything on Tuesday and Wednesday. I doubt we see hardly any trade on Friday either. Colorado did print some trade this week, but didn't have any on Thursday. 2,700 head for the week. That doesn't sound like a robust market. How about Iowa? 500 head sold on Thursday. Less than 19,000 for the week. That's a whole lot less than they normally trade. 140 to 141 live. 226 dressed. That's a buck higher than anything we've seen dressed so far this week. And you've seen the trend. It's been the last 2 or 3 weeks where we get to the very end of the week and we see the highest prices, yet we see cattle feeders puking cattle early the next week just because of the basis. Nebraska, 100 heads all, 28,600 head for the week. They usually trade 30 or better, so it's been a lighter week. Dress trade was always saw on Thursday, 222 to 225. Kansas, 700 head sold on Thursday, which is nothing. 21,800 head, which is pretty good movement for Kansas. 137 to mostly 138, just like it's been, like I said, for a month. Texas didn't have any trade on Thursday, just 7,200 head for the week. And Dr. Kuntz told us in his study that we need about 9,500 head for robust trade in Texas Panhandle. How about box beef cutout values? They were up a little, but the rally is not as strong as what it had been the last couple of weeks. They were actually down on Wednesday afternoon, but Thursday afternoon, choice cuts up 36 cents at 271.40. Selects up 17 at 261.22. Look at your slaughter. Pretty darn good clip this week. 495,000. That's 5,000 better than last week. 29,000 better than the same week ago, a year ago. And we just hope we can finish out the week. We've been getting surprised with these Fridays that are just a little over 100,000 instead of 125. And then Saturday's not doing much, and these new agreements they've made with some of those workers that they're getting most of their Saturdays off. So we're not doing a lot of harvesting on Saturday, but maybe we'll finish the week out strong. Actual slaughter information for the week ending March the 26th had your average dressed steer carcass weight at 910 pounds. Still sounds big, but that's 6 pounds less than the previous report. Finally starting to come down. What else has been going on? On Thursday, I was there taking bids for Wolf Cattle Company out of Wisconsin. They had a fantastic sale. Sold around 450 head, mostly bulls, and I mean a fantastic sale of limousine genetics there. It shows you what those buyback programs do. You guys, getting into the genetic business, you want to have a big time bull sale, start you a buyback program, and people get involved in it, and they bid on those bulls readily. On Friday here, going to be giving a presentation to the Texas Bankers Association's Ag Conference in downtown Fort Worth. Kind of looking forward to that. That's a different gig than what I normally have. Friday night, likely going to be making an ass out of myself in the Stockyards District in Fort Worth. And then Saturday, going to be going down to South Texas and got a Brayford sale, or basically a special bred cow sale in Brenham, Texas. But your Tiger Stripe Brayfords will be the ones that top the sale. They always do. But I hope to see you guys on the road somewhere. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DV auction late in the day on Thursday, sitting at 155.49. That was actually up 59 cents compared to Wednesday's close. But a lot of our big sales were lower, but Ogallala did have a barn burner, and we'll talk about it. But winter livestock in Pratt, Kansas, 4,400 head on Thursday, steady to $5 lower for the most part. Couldn't make heads or tails out of the Federal State Market News report there. They're not getting any better. And I know who's in charge of them, and I know he knows what's going on. Let him go down there and train those people, because it is pitiful. I mean, just trends going every which way, every 50-pound weight group. And I don't know if you guys read those reports or just listen to me, but it's real frustrating, because I did that for 20 years and tried to do a good job of it, but these people don't have a clue what they're doing. I looked at the automated market report, looked steady to $5 lower for the most part, except for the 8-weight steers in Pratt, and they were about $4 higher. And it included 3 loads weighing 850 to 900 pounds that bring from 157 to 158. Well, no doubt they're higher than on those, but you know, that did pull your averages quite a bit up. How about Farmers and Ranchers Livestock in Salina, Kansas? 4,200 head there. It was mostly $3 to $10 lower, but they had a barn burner last week. Remember, they were kind of slow for a couple of weeks there because of wintry weather, and they finally had an open sale week last week, had a big run and a big time market, had another good run this week, but the atmosphere of the markets just pulled it down some there. How about a sale that really did well? Haven't had a sale there for a while, but Ogallala Livestock Market, Ogallala, Nebraska, 5,800 head there. Look at this automated market report, and my gosh, you know, it's just what people are still willing to give for the best cattle at walk, you know, and you get up there in western Nebraska and you can see that. Look at your best tested weights of steers. 404 pound, 404 head of 5-weight steer calves in Ogallala, average 555 at $200.49 on the average on all of them. 1,075 head of 6-weight steers, average 651 with a weighted average price on all of them of $184.98. Oh my gosh. How about 1,242 head of 7-weight steers, average 743 at $169.48. And then 430 head of 8-weight steers, averaged 839, the weighted average price of $155.92. How about your best quote that I saw out of Ogallala? It's the biggest too, 219 head, 711 pound steers in Ogallala, Nebraska, bring $175. Some more individual quotes. How about Belle Fourche Livestock Market in Belle Fourche, South Dakota, way out west there where they've really been dry, but they can sell stockers still. 95 head, 599 or 600 pound steers, bring $196. How about Lamona Livestock in Lamona, Iowa there? My former neighbor, M.L. McCrae from over by King City, Missouri, he has taken his cattle there for years. He's developed a reputation. People look forward to his cattle. They bought his cattle. They know how they'll perform, and they always top the market. But he sold several loads in there, but his biggest steers are the ones that impressed me. And ML and I both ran cattle on State Highway A. They're going north out of Maysville, and we run the complete gamut of reputation, his on one end and mine down on the other. But ML sold 214 head of over 1,000 pound steers. They averaged 1020 with a weighted average price of $138.60. What are they going to feed those to cheapen them up? But the best quote that I saw anywhere, and your Ralgro top quote for the day, come out of Stockman's Livestock Exchange, Dickinson, North Dakota, the Warnacki Black Baldy steers. I love Black Baldies. This is not in El Dorado, Kansas, guys, right next to a burnt off pasture in the Flint Hills where you can just open the gate and turn them out. This is in North Dakota. They had 92 head, 697 pound steers, bring $180. And that's your feeder flash for Friday.